What's up everyone, Vu of Vu Films back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about cheap LED lights you could buy on Amazon, B&H, whatever. Typical tube douche brands such as Aputure, Nanlite, Cube, things of that nature. Now for those smaller lights like these small, pocket lights, LED lights, whatever, they're all the same thing, okay? I wouldn't recommend you go out and spend double the cost or sometimes triple the cost for a Cube for pretty much Bluetooth functionality. Matter of fact, a lot of the cheaper ones now have Bluetooth functionality, so just get whatever the one you feel like, whatever your budget wants to get, because it's all marketing, it's all hype. And I'm sure just for this video you saw a Cube ad. Completely ignore that trash, just buy whatever one of these lights you want. However, the bigger professional setups that you're going to be taking on to client shoots, you probably want to invest in some very high quality lighting. In my case, I'm actually using a Nanlite 300B with the Nanlite softbox right now with a lot of extra diffusion. Light can range anywhere from like 700 to $1,000 depending where you buy it and when you buy it, whatever. Point is, good solid lighting isn't always cheap, but what about those cheaper Chinese LED brands that seems to be interchangeable? In my hand right here, I have a Weeylite 400 Mark II, Weeylite Ninja 400 Mark II. So right off the bat, I'll tell you right now, the build quality, solid. No problem with that. I think there's some metal. I think there's some Chinese plastic here, whatever. In my opinion, if you didn't tell me what brand it was, I wouldn't even know. It feels fine. It feels good, okay? It comes with a bag and of course, all that stuff. Typical Chinese sweatshop type of material, perfectly fine. Compared to like a Nanlite bag or Aputure bags that I have for all my other lights. It's probably not that quality, but most people don't buy a light for the bag. They buy the light for the light quality. With regards to light quality, one thing that I have always noticed about all of the cheaper LED lights that I have, whether it be daylight balance or like tungsten or bicolor, is that the actual color temperature is as accurate as, I don't know, a take-home COVID test. Because I've been like super sick, I sound like complete garbage. I sound like I've been using a Canon camera for at least an hour, so I'm sick to my stomach. I sound like I've been throwing up this whole time, but I haven't. I just took I took one of those tests, came out negative. I took 2 of them, came out negative, but I clearly have something. I don't know what it is. Apparently it's not Rona, so don't worry about getting it through here. And moving on. So it comes with a separate, like, I don't know what this is, like the power bank, whatever. And plug it into the wall. You do have option for battery power here. Looks like it is a V mount. And you control everything here. It's bicolor, pretty much self-explanatory. You can mount this on the side of the light stand. You're good to go. And this is mostly plastic, some metal. But overall, there's nothing wrong with the build quality of these lights. Like, you could bring this into like a really expensive client shoot, and I don't think they'll think twice about it unless they're very aware of branding. In that case, if you're a big tube doucher, you walk in with Aputure, you think you're the shit, whatever. With that said, the biggest problem, the one thing I've always noticed, is the actual light that comes from the light is not always accurate in terms of like the temperature that it says it is. So if you pick 5600K daylight, you would think that that is 5600K daylight, but it turns out it's not. And I can't explain what it is. It has like a slight, some of these lights have like slight color tints one way or the other, maybe some green, maybe some magenta. But when I use this light at 5600K and I put my Sony a7S III onto auto white balance, let's say, it looks okay, right? And then when I switch to daylight balance, like when I manually switch to daylight, it starts looking warm, it starts looking different. And then when I have to go into the computer, when I have to go into editing, I gotta like adjust the color temperature and all that stuff. And you know, it's fine, it works. And like I'm not like not recommending these cheaper lights because of that. You can clearly adjust your white balance, adjust things, you know, before you start filming or even like in post, and you're probably fine. But also be aware that anytime you don't film something perfectly and you have to adjust it in post, that footage is losing some of its information. Like, so you want to color grade or whatever, the more you got to push the colors just to get it to white balance at the beginning, the less you be able to play around with it, obviously, because you're already kind of pushing around with the colors that it was recorded with. Obviously the camera recorded it as how it is, and then anytime you touch it, anytime you make more adjustments to it in post, obviously it's affecting the overall amount that you'll be able to push it further later if you want to do some type of like special color grading. But that's, you know, obviously more advanced. To be quite honest, I've been a videographer for 7 years now, and you know, obviously in the beginning I wasn't so much of a stickler for, you know, filming in 10-bit, filming in log, diffusing my lights to the maximum amount. You know, I was satisfied with the image I was getting, you know, super sharp, whatever. But then now, as I progressed, that's what I'm hoping is that my, you know, level of visual standards have increased. You know, like, you know, it's almost like you're eating food, and you know, your palate starts enjoying other things. When you're a kid, you didn't like onions, and you know, when you're older, you completely love onions because, you know, it's like your palate increases. Building a better eye for visuals, building a better ear for audio, things of that nature. You know, videography, this craft is like anything else in life. You know, as a person, as you get older, you try to better yourself. As a football player, you know, being fast as a wide receiver is not enough. You have to go out there and work on your footwork, train, get stronger, get faster, run precise routes to be like the best possible wide receiver you could be. And obviously when you first start off as a wide receiver, you don't think about that stuff. You're just running as fast as you can. But then, you know, as you get into college and NFL, whatever, you clearly have to start working on all these minute details of what it becomes to be a great wide receiver. Same thing as videography. As you get further into it, you realize there's like these little things that you need to work on to adjust, whether it be your image, whether it be your audio, whether it be your color grading, whether it be your editing, to become better and better at the craft, whether it is just being a cameraman and getting great images or telling a story. So with that being said, like, having a light like this is great, right? It's bright. I'm not sure what the maximum output is. It seems like it's 150 watt, which is great. This Nanlite Forza bicolor one that I'm using is 300 watts, but it's also a lot more expensive. I think this is like under 400 bucks. It might be 300 bucks. Link in the description below if you're interested. But the light overall is fine. You could put it onto a softbox, set it at 5600K. You know, you could play around with it with your own light meter. I ain't got time for that. I'm not down with that. I would prefer it to be accurate right out of the box. In my case, when I've turned this Nanlite 300B on and I set the camera to auto white balance, it did what it did. And then when I switched it to daylight balance, like nothing changed in the image. Like the camera sensed it was, you know, daylight, and when I set it to daylight, it was daylight. With this light, when I set it to auto white balance, it sets it to one look, and then when I switch it over to daylight, the look changes to something else. Like I said earlier, it gets a little bit warmer, a little bit of a tint to it. So what I'm trying to say is, like, this light is not accurate. And, you know, Weeylite, or Viltrox, I think it's like the parent brand of Weeylite, sent me this light like, gosh, months ago. And they kept asking me why I haven't reviewed it. And I keep telling them that I just haven't worked on like a professional shoot with them. It's because I just don't necessarily trust the light, because I want to make sure that I'm getting great color right out of the box. But like I said, everyone starts somewhere and everyone has their budget. and if you need like a really decently bright light to be able to get like a good key light, this is actually a very great option. You know, not everyone has, you know, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 right off the bat to go and spend on lighting. And yes, you could always rent, but that, you know, renting a light could be, I don't know, $100, $200. When you could buy one just for a little bit more and be able to use it on multiple projects and just very minor adjustments in post or more fine tuning before the shoot, you could get a very nice shot out of it. The light, actually, the light quality is perfectly fine. It's a perfectly good LED. It's just that color temperature accuracy and that slight tint that comes from these cheaper Chinese LED lights that can throw you off a bit. So yeah, I mean, that's just the truth about these lights. I am at the stage in my career now where I am starting to nitpick a lot with these things. You know, before, you know, I'll adjust things in post and everything, but now it's like I'm really trying to hone in on how my image looks like everywhere. Like, even when I'm filming a wedding, now I'm starting to think like, I'm gonna have to try to light everything. You know, sometimes, you know, I just kind of settle for whatever it is I have. And right now, I'm in the process of finding ways to bring certain types of lights with me that I could set up real quick or just have on hand real quick to be able to have really nice lighting like all the time. You know, it's easy to set up, like, for example, reception lights in weddings, right? And it's easy in ways to set up lighting for like prep. But what about like just those random like run and gun stuff? What if it's raining outside, you can't get natural light portraits and you need to get some really good footage of the bride and groom or something? You just gotta be ready, and you just gotta be able to light, you know, because most of the time you're indoors, like the lighting is crap without your own lighting. So you just gotta, I am really trying to hone in on aspects of image quality that I can improve, and right now I am a stickler for lighting. I am a very run and gun type of shooter, but you know, it comes a time when you just gotta like have a better, higher standard, or else you will never improve. Yeah, so I hope this video is interesting. I hope it was insightful. I hope it made you, you know, help you make a business decision on, you know, looking up like lights, which ones to buy. Should you break the bank and go for a Nanlite or a more expensive Aputure that ranges, you know, thousands some bucks? Or, you know, what about these Chinese lights that are $300-400, same wattage, you know, whatever, same brightness, you know, same features for the most part? How about those? And hey, if you're willing to make some minor adjustments before shooting and some minor adjustments in post if necessary to get the image colors and stuff like that, white balance to look proper, they're fine. You know, save yourself some money, make the adjustments you have to make, call it a day. At the end of the day, you know, you got to use what you have. So working within your means, use what you have, be creative, and you know, keep striving to get better. So with that being said, hope this video was insightful, hope it was helpful. Like, share, and subscribe. Definitely helps out this channel. Till next time, lighten up.
Hey man, what key light you use?
Hey, I actually just started using the Nanlite 300B.
Oh my god, you waste your money on that trash. You could buy the cheaper China light.
Actually, Nanlite, Aputure, they're actually made in China also.
See, they make all the light in China. Why you waste your money on all the name brand trash?
Yeah, but the name brand lights actually do a lot more R&D, it seems like, and like their light accuracy is like much better than like these cheaper ones.
Let me show you. Hey man, my name Fuck My Butt and welcome to my master class. Today I will show you how to do the cinematic filmic lighting. What you done, you become award-winning. You become the best.
That white balance looks so off, it looks like you're using RGB.
No man, it's not the light. It's the best Canon color shine.